Hello, everybody. My name's Jimmy Smith, and welcome to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you for stopping by. We do everything here around the world of wine, and we really give you in-depth views to major concepts and major areas in the vinous world of wine. So welcome here to a series on California. And it is a multi-part series. So on this series, we are looking at the North Coast, focusing specifically on Mendocino and Lake counties. This is part 2 of 3, focusing on the poster child of the North Coast Mendocino County. That's Anderson Valley AVA. Okay, so we are going to rock and roll, talking about all things Anderson Valley. Let's have a look at our first slide. Here we are. So nice map for you to begin. So we have some figures here for you. 2018 statistics. There are just around 1,000 hectares of vines in play in Anderson Valley AVA. As I mentioned, I called it the poster child of the AVAs of Mendocino County. It is the most well known. The valley runs from northwest and only a few miles from the Pacific. You can see I've highlighted it here in a yellowy orange, to the southeast, which is further inland. So it's running at a diagonal following the valley. Now, there are approximately about 85 wineries in the AVA. Many of these have cellar doors who will take advantage of the tourism trade around the Mendocino coast. The reputation of the AVA today is very much firmly built on Pinot Noir. So a number of the wineries from other areas of the state buy Anderson Valley fruit to make appellation-specific or even vineyard-specific wines. So you will buy from all over Mendocino County, and in your portfolio, you really should have an Anderson Valley AVA. As mentioned, it's all about Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So these two combined account for 9 out of 10 bottles produced in Anderson Valley. They are both early ripening, early budding, early ripening, and they're used both for still wines and, of course, sparkling wines. We'll know the influence of the likes of Roederer estate here, Louis Roederer. So what about the actual conditions in play here? So daytime temperatures can be warm, but cold air and fogs are funneled inland along the Navarro River, giving cold evenings and mornings. Further inland, the valley becomes much more focused, more narrower, and that reduces the flow of ocean breezes and fog, and the conditions are warmer. So, of course, towards the northwest, we are looking at much greater volumes of cold conditions and fogs, whereas towards the southeast of the valley, it's much warmer in comparison. The valley receives a really large amount of rainfall, ranging from around 900 millimeters to 2,000 millimeters per year, mostly falling in winter and spring, which gives, of course, that real good kick to the emergence of bud burst in the vineyard. The northwestern side of the valley, of course, logically close to the Pacific, is considered the wettest. This is the wonderful Farrington vineyard. Great wines like William Salem produced from here. The vast majority of vineyards will be planted on the sloped sides of the valley. And this is because we have cold nights, we have problems with spring frosts, certainly in the low-lying areas. And when you've got a combination of early budding varieties, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and high frost risk, of course, you're going to need as much protection as possible. Good airflow, which will happen on slopes, and then, of course, the better UV light and warmth that is found on a slope. That will mitigate the frost risk. If you have any comments, questions, perhaps you've been to Anderson Valley, maybe you come from there, maybe you love the wines produced from this area, please do get in touch. You can comment on this video below. Make sure you click like and subscribe as well. So let's discuss a little bit the classic labels that one may see. So we know that about 70% of vineyard land here is Pinot Noir. So it, of course, is really particularly reputed, not just in Mendocino County, but in California, the States, and around the world. Now, the style of these Pinot Noirs will vary depending, of course, on site, climate. So taking into consideration things like airflow, things like altitude, geology, also clones, which of course Pinot Noir has a huge diversity of clones behind it, harvesting times, but typically the wines will be along the lines of red plum, red cherry, raspberry, will have a medium to medium plus acidity and medium body. Typically these wines come in at good, and then there are some very good examples and even some outstanding examples. They can be in the premium price. Typically, you'll find them in that category all the way up to super premium. Significant producers, Littorai, which are on the left-hand side there, the Savoy Vineyard, Alexander Valley Pinot Noir. Look at the wonderfully manageable 13.4% ABV. And on the right-hand side, you have got Williams-Salem, which you'll see here is 2011 Farrington Vineyard, Anderson Valley, coming in at about 13.9% alcohol on the right-hand side. You'll also find aromatic Alsace-style white wines from the likes of Gewürztraminer, Riesling, Pinot Gris, and Pinot Blanc, which can be rather wonderful from this area. Okay, let's have a look at this wonderful Google Earth 3D video to put what we've been chatting about into perspective. There's California and the Golden State. So we're going to head towards the north, of course. We're looking at Mendocino County, and we're talking about a county that has about 7,000 hectares of vines, about 108 wineries focusing on Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Cabernet Sauvignon, all combined about 50 to 60% of production. But of course, here we're looking at Anderson Valley AVA. So the Anderson Valley AVA, which stems sort of from west to east, is about 1,000 hectares, about 85 wineries, and 9 out of 10 here are Pinot Noir or Chardonnay, with Pinot Noir being nearly 70%. Now, as we have a look at it, towards the west, towards the Pacific, it is cooler. It's rainy over here. It could be rain up to 2,000 millimeters per year. And then we follow the Navarro River as we go down that valley. Vineyards are on either side, typically the north, and they are on slopes. And then as we head to the western side, it is much warmer and drier. That's where we find different varieties at play, but typically all about Pinot here. Well, fantastic. Thank you for joining me on this journey for Anderson Valley, part 2. Part 3 is on Lake County, Clear Lake AVAs, and all associated and nested AVAs. If you'd like to watch that, you will need to subscribe to my e-learning portal. Details at the bottom of the slide there, winewithjimmy.com. It is an e-learning portal which gives you access to huge volumes of exclusive video content and extra resources to help you with your understanding of wine and your studies. If you do find yourself in the UK, then please come and say hi for maybe a class, maybe a glass, potentially a bottle. I've been Jimmy Smith. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.